Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Miller, President and Co-founder of SPCEA, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to today's webinar. SPCEA is a 501c6 nonprofit professional society. We're dedicated to advancing the cost engineering profession through education, certification, and thought leadership. Our mission is to establish global standards and provide a platform for knowledge sharing in manufacturing industries. With 18 corporate sponsors, nearly 5,000 LinkedIn followers, and initiatives like our annual conference and CPCE certification, we're making significant strides towards gaining recognition for cost engineering on a par with that of the project management space. Thank you for your continued support in helping SPCA grow and thrive. To learn more about membership, training courses, and other opportunities, please take some time and visit our website at www.spcea.org. Now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Simona Pappalardo, President of Coaching with Simona. Simona is an accomplished executive and leadership coach with extensive experience in the semiconductor, electronics, and manufacturing industries. Originally from Milan, Italy, Simona has worked across the globe, honing her inclusive leadership style. A passionate advocate for diversity, mentoring, and coaching, she has spoken at events like TED Women 2017 and is currently authoring a book on embracing authenticity in the workplace. SPCEA is proud to partner with Simona to bring you important career development training opportunities, such as this webinar, to help you advance in your career. So now, please join me in welcoming Simona Pappalardo. Simona?
Thank you so much, Jeff, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I am thrilled to be here. Thank you, SPCA, for giving me this opportunity to share this material with this audience. I'm really, really excited. So without further ado, let me start by introducing a little bit of myself. So as Jeff already mentioned, I'm originally from Milan, Italy, and I have lived in various countries around the world, specifically in Malaysia. I have had quite a few years in Michigan, and I am now located in the suburbs of Chicago. I'm a person that really enjoyed traveling. I think on my resume, I should actually add the title Gypsy because I enjoy so much wandering around and especially meeting people of different background. I really think that by seeing how other people approach life, you can learn more of what your values are and what you stand for. Like Jeff said, I have had a quite exciting career in the world of electronics, manufacturing, and quality, where I started as a failure analysis engineer in the world of microelectronics. And most recently, I was senior director for quality and for electronics at Whirlpool Corporation, an appliance manufacturer. And I have decided that after this amazing journey, I wanted to help others understand the unwritten rules of corporate America and how to really unlock and tap into their full potential. And that's when I decided to found my coaching company, Coaching with Simona. Here you can see a few pictures of who I am as a person. I am married with someone I have met in Malaysia, and now we have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter. Her name is Sophie. And I have a very close relationship with some of my best friends in the mountain of Italy. And so here you can see a picture of who I am outside. I also like hiking and skiing and everything that is mountain related. What matters to me, and this is something that I'm very proud to say that I stated back in 2015. I was actually at my first class, at my first managerial class, and someone asked me, what would you like your legacy to be? And I wrote this in 2015, and now 10 years later is still so very much true to me, that I want to be able to provide energy and inspiration to everyone around me, including myself, of course, to dare more, to step out of one's comfort zone and to reach new personal heights. So to me, founding Coaching with Simona was the ultimate piece of of the puzzle to be able to live this mission that I feel so strongly for myself. So in that sense, as I said, I have several certifications around coaching, and in particular, I help overworked and overwhelmed managers become confident and authentic leaders who create success for themselves, their teams, and their organization at large. Now, with any further ado, let me get into the core of our webinar today. And so the first thing that I want everyone to realize is, I want to ask you this question. How do you get on the short list for a promotion or a special assignment? And here I want to help you with a very flavorful acronym, let me say. And I want to say that the most important thing that you can do to really propel your career is to don't forget any slice of the pie. PIE. This acronym should really guide you when you think about how you develop your career. What do I mean by PIE? P stands for performance, I stand for image, and E stands for exposure. Do you know what is the most common mistakes that professionals do when they think about managing their career? There are too many people out there that believe performance is the only driver for promotions, while actually, I would argue that image and exposure are even more important than performance, okay? And let me also tell you that here I say promotions because that's the first thing that comes to mind. But when I use the word promotion here, I mean getting what do you desire out of your career, being it a special assignment, being it an expert opportunity, being it an increase in salary, being it being on that specific team, on that specific project because you have a passion for it. That's what I mean when I say promotion. People normally think promotion as the first thing of advancing their career, but that can be depending on what you want to do and with your career and where you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, that words can take very different connotation, right? So I will say career for short in the rest of the webinar. I will maybe say promotion for short in the rest of the webinar, but please think about it in general terms. It means being able to get what you want, okay? And so here, the core concept, and I want to stress it very, very strongly, is that performance is not enough. Now, don't take me wrong. Performance is a given, okay? So absolutely, if you are feeling that your performance is not what it's supposed to be, and so your technical hard skills of really doing the job and bringing the results need to be improved, focus on that first. That's like a given, okay? But let's assume that your performance is where it's supposed to be. You might even receive great feedback, great job, great project, great results, whatever, but you're feeling stuck. Then I want you to start thinking about image and exposure. What do I mean by image and exposure? So image is your reputation, your credibility, your style. It is bottom line, your personal brand, okay? Have you ever heard someone giving the feedback, they are great, but they don't have executive presence. They don't have leadership. That feedback means that that person needs to work on their image and on their brand ultimately, okay? Exposure is the ability to engage with broad network, gaining visibility to senior leadership, ability to get critical and pivotal roles that really propel you where you want to be. It is that fact of, I have this problem, who could I assign to this particular project? Is this idea of coming to someone's mind, where someone is hopefully a person in power, right? And so this is also sometimes you hear the feedback, their communication is not that great. Well, that feedback means that you need to work on your exposure, okay? So image and exposure, again, performance is a given. Image and exposure are the differentiators. And from the long list of great performance in your company, trust me, guys, everyone in a company, almost everyone in a company is there because they want to do good, okay? But only a very limited amount of people understand that you need to work on image and exposure to really be on the short list of promotions and career advancement, okay? So this is the best kept secret, and now you own it. So now it's up to you to make good use of this information, okay? Now I want to challenge you because, hey, it's easy to talk about this thing. It's a very different thing to be able to act on things, okay? So I propose a small little 2 minutes exercise here. Of course, you can take more time later on to further develop these, to work on your exposure today, right now, okay? I want to ask you, have you ever asked what is on other people's objectives and goals in your company? The reason why I ask you this question is because in order to improve your exposure, as we said, you need to come to mind, right? And you need to do a lot of networking. And so again, a common misbelief is that networking is about going and asking for something. Networking is often about offering help, okay? And it's not initially intended to gain something out of it, okay? The best way to network in an organization is by contributing to other people's success. When you contribute to other people's success, you are actually ensuring your own success. It might sound counterintuitive. Trust me, that's how it works. So I want to do a small exercise right now. And I want you, if you have a piece of paper or you prefer taking notes on your PC or just think about it, okay? I'll give you a minute to identify now 5 key players that in your organization that you are targeting to connect with today to learn what objectives they need to accomplish in 2025. While you envision having those conversations, and when you have those conversations, you need to think about asking yourself first and ask them, how can I help you? Okay, so I'll pause for really a minute, and please start writing it down. Because yes, I'll say 5. Let's see who can get to more than 5 in a minute. But I hope that you have understood the exercise. And so who are you going to go and connect with today? Who are you going to network with today? So that you can understand how you can offer your help and how you can help them achieve their objectives. Okay, so I think, let's see. Hopefully you guys had a moment to think about this. So, question for you. How did this exercise make you feel? If 10, you are like, yay, fun, this is so much fun, I'm on top of it, I'm already sending calendar invites. She didn't even finish saying it, I'm on top of it, right? Or are you like, oh my God, I just ate the thought of putting myself out there. And if you can put it in your chat, we will monitor the chat a little bit and see where you guys are at real quick. Just a gut feeling.
Hi, Simo. It looks like we're averaging somewhere around a 6 in our chat here with the answers, 6 to 7.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Now, think about it. You don't have to answer. If you want to put it in your chat, for sure, we would love to hear it. What is going to take you from getting from a 6 to a 10? 6 is great, right? But what would make you feel a 10? Because again, if you agree with me, if I convinced you that exposure is the thing that will put you on a short list together with image, of course, but if it is one of the things that puts you on a short list for your promotions, right? What would take you to a 10, right? Because you need to be able to master this, okay? And this is just one of the many exercises we can do around networking, okay? So let me go next. So this is another thing that when I work with my clients, it comes up over and over and over, okay? There is a fundamental difference between working on image and exposure and working on performance. Image and exposures are, and soft skills in general, are much more connected with our values, our beliefs that sometimes can be empowering, sometimes can be limiting, our priorities in life, and other very personal elements of how we see the world. You have no idea how many people have told me, oh, when they go in front, prepare for their performance review or something like that, I don't want to boast. I don't want to sound cocky. I don't want to be pushy, right? So all of these limiting beliefs that in the moment in which I advocate for myself, I'm a bad person, for lack of better terms, is what is really stopping people from executing. Even when they know how to work on image and exposure, there are certain things in the back of our head that tells us, no, this makes me feel uncomfortable. There are people out there that feel very shy about networking. And so this is where I say that performance is a matter of the brain, is all here, especially in our profession, right? We are engineers, so it's a very technical role, and so it's all here. Image and exposure, vice versa, are here, are a matter of the heart, right? And this is why I'm so proud of the course and the structure that we have created together with the SPCEA, because we don't want to work with you only on your brain, but we also want to work with you on your heart, okay? And working really on those beliefs that maybe are obstacles in really achieving your career, okay? So now, reflection question number 2. Now that you understand what image and exposure are so critical, hopefully I convinced you that they are critical. If I have not, please reach out. I'll give you my contact information later, and we can have a separate conversation if you would like more. But let's say that I've convinced you that image and exposure are really critical for your career. Let me ask you this. How likely are you to work on improving your soft skills? Is it like a 10? Like, yes, just tell me how, I'm on board? Or this is like, yeah, I don't believe you. I don't see the point. I don't care. I don't want to do it. Where are you at?
It's looking like mostly 10, Simona.
Yeah, guys, that's the right answer, by the way. No, I'm joking. There is no right or wrong answer, but I'm so glad that we are getting so many 10s, right? This is important. This is, again, I want to step back for a second and talk about what I mean by promotions and by managing your career. Ultimately, guys, you spend what? 10 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. I know we are all overworked in corporate America or corporate whatever country, right? Wherever you're calling from. We work a lot. right? We work a lot. And so to me, maximizing the outcome of our career is not only a matter of money or something like that, but again, it's really about happiness. We spend so much freaking time in our careers that I don't want anyone to be miserable. You know what I'm saying? And if they want that special assignment, I want them to be able to go get it, you know? So I'm so excited that we got all these 10. So where do we go from here? Okay, I convinced you, apparently. So what are we proposing? And so I want to flip a little bit the topic now, and I want to be telling you about the course that we have created together with SPCEA, okay? First of all, I have prepared this for you of why should you, as cost engineer, invest in this course. We have already talked about it, but it's really about being able to maximize impact in your organization so that you can get outstanding results and boosting your career, okay? And I want you to be able to increase your engagement and satisfaction in your role, that happiness I was talking to you about, by finding that secret sauce, right? That what is behind those words, image, and exposure. I'm just scratching the surface here, but what is it, that secret sauce that maximizes your potential and enables you to achieve success? What we are proposing, and why this course I really believe is very special, is because we are not just going to slap you with a bunch of soft skills. Now do this, 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 this. No. We are going to do something very specific to the cost engineering profession that will help you understand how to use those soft skills, right? And we will work, as I said, both on the brain and on the heart. So that it's not just, as I said, right? You can find list of soft skills out there, but the difficulty is, okay, how do I put them in action in my day-by-day job? And that's what we will try to solve for you. And ultimately, you will see this is a very low price point versus the value that you will get, thanks to this blend that we have thought of doing some group sessions, some webinars together with individualized coaching sessions, okay? I have also prepared for you, and of course, we will share the presentation at the end of this, a small little slide to help you, let me say, sell it to your manager or to your company, okay? Maybe there is an opportunity here to get sponsored by your company for this course. And so I have already prepared this talking point for you of how you can approach and why the company would want to send you to this course. And it's all about, if you maximize your impact, guess what? You will be ultimately able to better control spending, right? And the ROI for the company, honestly, can be infinite, right? Then, if you are more engaged and satisfied in your roles, you will be more stable and you will have more tenure and you will get even better doing what you do. And so the company will save dollars in recruiting, in onboarding and training, okay? And then, of course, is always because it's specific and it is a very low investment versus the value, okay? So this is a slide that you can really take with you to go talk to your manager and being able to sell to them why they should send you to this course, okay? With that said, okay, what is the content? Okay, now I know why. What is it that I'm signing up with? So we as engineers, let's be honest, we live and breathe the product development cycle, right? I know that everyone has a little bit of maintenance of business work, and there are in even maintaining the products, but ultimately speaking, we do bring value as engineers in creating new products, right? So we are going to start looking at what is the product development cycle. I know every company has a little bit of a different terminology here, but we will take a very simple example, right? Conceptualization, design, procurement, launch, and production, right? And as you do your technical skill, like cost-benefit analysis, value engineering, or whatever, for each and every one of these phases, we are going to associate one critical soft skill. So here, less is more. So I don't want to tell you like 20 different soft skills. No, I picked for you 6, bottom line. And I want to associate each and every one of them to one phase of product development. Why? Because if you are in that phase of product development, I want you to focus on developing that soft skill. Now, does it mean that the other soft skills are not applicable? Like, does it mean that stakeholder management is not applicable to the conceptualization phase? Of course, it is still applicable, right? But it's during production, when the problems happen, that you really have to do stakeholder management, right? So I want to bring it to be real for you and give you a compass on how you're going to help and how you're going to be able to apply those soft skills. And then we have the 6th one is time management. That one is really across. It's like a basic, right? If you don't know how to manage your time, you're not going to be able to bring back the results. Your image is going to be impacted and your exposure is not going to be nice. So time management goes across, and we will talk about that too. Okay. And so again, let's say that you have projects that are in conceptualization and in production. Maybe right now you will focus on personal branding and stakeholder management, but you will also learn about collaboration and influencing with data, negotiation and feedback and self-improvement, so that you can still apply them. Or eventually, as the project that you're following moves forward, you already have the skill and the ability to impact it in a very, very different way because you're working on your soft skills. Okay. So now, okay, this is how the framework at a glance, right? So now in details, we will do, as we already mentioned before, we will do a blend of webinars exactly like this with one-on-one coaching. Well, I will work just with you. So first we will do a series of 3 webinars. So those will be on February 12, 19, and 26. And so we will do intro, of course, right? We need to talk about, okay, learning outcomes and all of that. And then we will focus on personal brand. Why is personal brand important? How do I highlight my achievement? And we will work on creating an elevator pitch. Okay, then we will focus, the second week, we will focus on collaboration, and we need to do some preparation for next session. It will become clear why it has to be done that way. But anyway, we will focus on collaboration, and we will talk about building cross-functional relationship and how to influence with data that as engineers is a fundamental thing of how we build collaboration, okay? Because we are technical people, and so data matters, right? And then the following week, we are going to talk about negotiation. And so different negotiation frameworks, how to approach negotiation, and then also talk about how do we apply negotiation for our own self. So promotions, roles, responsibilities, and we will do a little bit of role play, as much as we will focus on feedback and self-improvement. So embodying a growth mindset and reviewing the elevator pitch exercise, because at this point, I guarantee you, you will have more information that you want to refine the elevator pitch of week number 1. With that, we'll pause for a second, not pause, but we'll pause the webinars. And then we will have a 2-week windows where I will meet with you one-on-one to reflect on what have you learned about yourself in this 3 first week. What is really the value you bring to the organization? What is your personal brand? And what are the areas of improvement, okay? Then we will go back to 2 webinars, stakeholder management, roles of the stakeholder in career progression, communicating up, down, and across, how do we handle conflict? And we will talk about time management, that basic skill that we talk about, differentiating what is important versus urgency, and how we combine technical and operational work with strategic work, right? Those are very important skills to have. And we will, the second last webinar will be about career mapping. Now we have learned a lot. So what are the career paths for cost engineer? And let's bring some real life examples of who has built their career starting as a cost engineer and how did they do that. And we will leave with a self-assessment where you will ask, where are you in your career? Because then again, we are having a second coaching session, one-on-one, you and I, and we will create a career action plan. And this is super important to me because I want to make sure that as we approach the final session, you have, let me say, not only completed an incredible journey over a fairly small amount of time, but you also have everything you need to keep going, right? Because we are not gonna end the discussion in 6 weeks, right? Or 6 webinars, but I want you to be able to continue. And the last webinar will all be about bringing it together, reflecting on what was your aha moment, and which 3 steps will you take to move you forward in the next 6 months. And we will try to build some accountability to keep you going. And of course, then there will be a final test and a certification, because after you have invested so much time, you want to have the proof that you did so. Okay. So once again, all in one slide to help finalize. The first webinar is today. We call it webinar 0. We are already giving you this super important secret, which is about PI, performance, image, and exposure. We have given you an exercise to start working on your exposure with this idea of networking. Is January. I know different companies are on different year. Not everyone follows the calendar year, but I think the timing is perfect for the majority of us to go out there and ask about objectives. That's why I thought about that exercise right now. And then, as I said, there are a series of 6 other webinars. We will have the webinars live. We will also record it because we do realize that we have people from everywhere in the world. So it will be basically impossible to really have everyone attending. Of course, live is better. So there is also the Q&A portion, but don't worry about it. We will make the webinars available the day after, probably, and we will keep it up for a week, 10 days. I don't want to keep the webinars up forever because I want to keep you progressing, right? So I want everyone to keep up with the pace so that then the coaching session are properly timed. But this is what, let's say, don't worry too much about like, oh my gosh, I cannot do it every Wednesday or something like that, because you will have the time to catch up. And I will always be an email away if there is any question that you needed to me to answer and you didn't have the chance to ask live, okay? And so this is the structure of the program. And then, of course, on top of the 6 webinar, as I said, the 2 one-on-one coaching sessions with me, okay? That we will schedule at your time and convenience. Of course, that's going to be a discussion with each and every one of you between you and I, okay? So now, this is what it is all about. This is an investment in yourself. Hopefully you understand that this is an incredible opportunity to really springboard you. You will get 4 hours and a half of tailored specific instruction about soft skill that you can apply in your projects. And you will get 2 hours of one-on-one coaching to support you in applying your learning and driving action. I cannot stress this enough. If you study these things, but if you don't work on what is hindering you, if you don't work on the heart, as I said before, it's just going to stay on the pages of your notebook. And if you don't act on the things that you have heard and learned, you're not going to see maximizing the results. That's why this blend is incredibly powerful, because yes, I'll teach you everything that you need to know, but I will also help you apply in your specific situation. And the monetary investment is $899 US. I guarantee you, I've been in this business for a long time. You will not find a better deal. You have to thank SPCEA for that. They are an incredible advocate for cost engineering, and you have to thank them because it's only thanks to their support that we can do this. And in order to make sure that you are even more enticed to signing up, we are offering a flash sale of $50 US if you sign up within 48 hours. How do you sign up, you ask? Run to www.spcea.org/coaching, and you can use the discount code 50SIMO, 50SIMO, and in that way you will get that discount. Okay, and with that, I would love to hear what you think about this webinar. Of course, now we will open up to question and answer, and we will have a little bit of a discussion, but I would love to have you have a conversation with me. So this is my email address, simona@coachingwithsimona.com. I have a YouTube channel where weekly I post videos. So I really encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. There are already a lot of videos out there. So you can even get more of a feel for what I stand for and what I help people with. So I would encourage you to also check out those addresses. And of course, my main page is www.coachingwithsimona.com. With that, I think I finished my spiel with enough time to ask a few questions. I would simply ask Stacy, do we have anyone in the chat that has a question?
I don't see anyone right now, but you're welcome to raise your hand or drop something in the chat, and I will bring you on to ask your question here with Simona. So if you have a question, now's an awesome time. And while we're waiting for those to come in, I'll just reiterate. Definitely try to take advantage of the discount that Simona is offering over the next 48 hours if you're really focused on improving your career as a cost engineer and moving up the ranks or helping others move up. It's definitely something that you want to take advantage of. So definitely do that. I don't see any questions, Simona, coming up, but I would love to, maybe you can share a little bit with the audience while we have them here and give a few more minutes for questions to come in. Maybe you can share a success story or two, or some really, fun opportunity that you've had to work with others in cost engineering and what kind of experience they've achieved after either going through your program or being coached by you and mentored by you?
Sure. So one of the things that characterize a lot of cost engineers is the fact that we are a support function, right? So many times there is a core team, and there are different companies where cost engineers are sort of a support function, right? So, for example, there are some people out there that struggle a little bit on how to understand how to make their presence felt and how to build influence over a core team, right? Where sometimes, let me say, cost engineering is sort of an afterthought, or maybe it's perceived that way by the cost engineer, right? So I've really worked with a lot of people, cost engineer and other functions that have that kind of background on establishing that personal brand and that executive presence, and working on using the influence that actually you are even better off than if you are in the core team, because you can touch different groups and you can actually expand your career paths in different functions, right? Like procurement and finance and engineering and all of that, right? So mapping that has proven incredibly significant, because people didn't realize how much influence they could have, because they felt like, I'm not part of the core team. I don't know if this helps, Stacy, but this is definitely something I've seen happening a lot.
Yeah, 100%, especially when you exist in one of those, I'm doing air quotes, but support functions, right? It's really hard to try to figure out how to break through when you tend to be looked at, or your discipline tends to be looked at as something that just provides information for other people to go be great, right?
Yes.
I think your point is you can be great too.
Actually, I think that those functions are even better than being in the core team. It's just a matter of looking at that as an opportunity. If you start reframing, I'm just, I've had people use it, I'm just, right? And already the word just, I'm just providing the data. I am just in support. No, you touch so many teams. You are lucky that you can actually have a much larger influence, exactly because you're dealing with multiple people. So actually, I think that's an even better situation to be at. That's honestly how I built my career, by using that leverage, right? So anyway, a lot to be said about it. I'll make sure that we'll talk about it during the course, but I would definitely say that's something we can work on.
Absolutely. Simona, while we were chatting here, we have a question here from Alberto that I'll read out loud for the group. How can a cost engineer better influence not only cost engineering, but other groups like investments or groups that are looking towards the future of the company?
So we will have a session specifically, and it's called Exactly Influencing with Data. That's on webinar 2, if I remember correctly. But this is exactly, it's about it. Okay, it's all about using the data that you collect in order to influence others. And you do that by thinking what's in it for them. Okay, so you shouldn't approach, what was the example, the investment department or whatever that function was, as, oh, this is why this will help you from a cost engineering perspective, but what's in it for them? By the way, this is exactly why I talked to you about doing this exercise about the objectives of the other team. Now, think about it in this way. Now you know what's in that leader objective. If you can connect and bridge what you see as a way for him to achieve his objectives, and you phrase it in that way, that person is going to jump on board with you. But so many times we engineer, we see, let me say, the way we see things, right? That is from our perspective. And we go and talk to leaders about why this will be good for us. What if we could go out there and tell them how this would be good for them? I guarantee you the buy-in is completely different. Make sense, Alberto? I hope that this answer helps a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure that it did. But I'm sitting here looking. If there's any other questions, feel free to go ahead and pop them into our chat here. But I think that just based on some feedback that our audience got some really great information. I love pie, right? It's a simple way for us to think about how we can move forward. So I'm super excited for our SPCEA members as well as the community at large to get more insight on how they can improve and move forward. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and ask Jeff to come back in because he wanted to say a couple of words here as we round up.
Okay, thank you, Stacy, and thank you, Simona. I really do appreciate this you're sharing your expertise and your experiences here. One thing I guess I just wanted to remind everybody too is that I've been in the industry now for almost 40 years, and anyway, to make a sorry about that to make a long story short, I've been on both sides where I've been the manager who's been trying to career manage manage the careers of my team as well as the individual contributor. The one thing that people I think have a misconception about is that there's somebody in HR or there's somebody in senior leadership that's managing your career for you. That's not true. You have to take responsibility for your own career. You have to be proactive and doing things like Simona has suggested here. I love pie, for example. I mean, that's going to be very that's something I've taken away from this. It's important for you to be proactive and to manage your career to get to the place that you want to be. If your ambition is to be company president or someday or to be in a senior leadership role, you need to have a plan. And the techniques that Simona teaches will certainly help you execute that plan. So again, thank you, everybody. Really do appreciate you attending today. Thank you, Simona. We greatly appreciate our partnership, and we're excited to go forward with you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And again, I'm just one email away, so don't feel shy. If you have any further points, I'll be happy to answer in private also.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and we will see you soon.